All right, welcome back. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends about me, shoot me an email, and I'll give you a live, anonymous video answering your personal finance, military, or whatever questions. Politics, maybe, but I'm not going to address any topics that are going to get me kicked off YouTube. So, when I was doing my last live stream, I had a question about college 529 plans. So, I'm just going to kind of dive into them. And this is kind of just based on what I know in my head. But if you want to really know more about your state's individual college 529 plan and what kind of tax benefits they give, you need to actually do your research. And it's pretty easy. Like whatever state you live in, you just Google your state and you say, California 529, and then you just kind of read about it. But basically, think about a college 529 plan as this. Whenever the government offers some kind of plan for you, like a 529 or a Roth or a 401k, it's always about taxation. It's always about taxes. That's all it is. The government is basically trying to incentivize you to do something by giving you some kind of tax benefit. And if you remember, if you invest money in a non-tax advantage account, you're going to pay all sorts of taxes every freaking year, and it's going to screw you over. But if you use accounts with tax advantages, then you're much better off because you're paying much less money in taxes. So when it comes to a college 529 plan, just like every other tax advantage thing, it all comes down to taxes. Now, each state has or I think the vast majority of states have their own college 529 plan. And each state offers individual benefits if you invest in that state's plan. But you're not limited to your state's college 529 plan. You can invest in any state's college 529 plans. And I think it's like, don't quote me on this, I think like Utah supposedly has the best plan. But you need to do the research, look at your own state, and see what kind of benefits you get on your state income tax return. For example, I live in Virginia. The Virginia 529 plan, because every state has one, the Virginia 529, they actually let you write off, I think like $4,000 of contributions when you put money into it for college education. That's a pretty decent benefit. So if you live in a certain state that gives you benefits, if you're a resident of that state, it might be the best deal to just invest in that state. But you need to do the research. And if your state doesn't really offer any benefits or they have crappy investments, okay, then you can look at another state. But just remember, every state has a 529 plan, and you should have no problems investing in any other 529 plan. Now, what is the purpose of it? It gives tax benefits and it helps you save for college and I think even high school education benefits now. So you get to put your money into these accounts. Let's say your child is born and you want to start saving for their college now, which I'm starting to do. My kid's not even born and I'm saving for their college. So you're like, okay, instead of paying $20,000 when they turn 18 right off the bat, why don't I save $100 a month and I invest it? Well, a college 529 plan is a way to do that. So you can open an account with your state or whatever state you want to do. You can contribute money to that account, monthly basis, whatever. And hopefully your state gives you a deduction. But once you put the money in the account, that money generally grows tax-free. That money every year, no matter what you invest in, it's going to pay dividends or interest or whatever. But because it's inside that shelter of the 529, you're not going to pay taxes every year. Whereas if you contrast that to Robinhood, you're going to pay taxes every year because there's no tax advantages. So your investments grow tax-free. And if you decide to take it out and you spend it on qualified educational expenses, the money that comes out is not taxed. That is the benefit. Tax-free potential tax write-off on the front, depending on your state. Tax-free growth. You're not paying any freaking taxes when it grows. And when you take it out, that money that comes out is also not taxed. So you basically get a double and potentially triple tax benefit depending on your state. And that allows you to save way more money for college for your kids. Now, there are some downsides because if you have the money in there and then your kid doesn't go to college and you want to access it, well, you're probably going to have to pay income taxes on that withdrawal and you're going to pay a penalty. So it's not just this amazing thing to just throw all your money into, just for the tax benefits. It's there to fund your child's educational expenses. And when you pay those expenses, you need to make sure that they're actually qualifying expenses. So I would definitely hire a broker or whatever, not a scumbag, but hire somebody to kind of verify with you that any money that you're taking out actually qualifies for, qualified educational expenses. Because if you just take the money out, you're going to pay income taxes and you're probably going to pay a huge freaking penalty that's going to screw you over. So I personally think it's not a bad idea to put some money in a 529 because they're highly flexible. You can actually transfer them between people. Like, let's say one kid doesn't go to college, well, you can transfer it to another kid, or you can just maybe hold on to it until you have a grandkid and then you can transfer it in their name. They're highly flexible. They give you amazing tax benefits as long as you spend them on educational expenses. And what else? One last thing. When you're investing in your plan, you also want to invest in index funds, all right? Like my state offers basically a total world stock market index fund that I can invest in. So when you invest in these plans, you want to make sure you're not paying insanely high fees based on the plan itself. And you want to make sure you're not investing in like stupid mutual funds that charge you a ton of money. So there's lots of considerations you need to watch out for. And the plans, they're pretty complex. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of rules and regulations. So I wouldn't just go off this video. This is kind of like a general educational video. But if you want to really start investing in a 529 plan, you definitely want to contact like a broker or, contact a state representative that manages the 529 plan and get all the information you need from your state. That's very important. I'm not a financial advisor. So that's that. I think it's a good deal. I'm putting money in my 529 plan. So my kid's not even born yet. So I put it in my wife's name. So every month I'm putting in $50, and I'm buying a total world stock market index. And then when my kid's born, well, I'll just transfer the money to my child as a beneficiary. And in 18 years, when he goes to college, maybe I have $20, $30, $40, $50,000 saved because I put in $50 a month instead of waiting to the last minute. So I would definitely look into it, but you definitely need to seek some kind of professional help. Just make sure you don't get screwed, please. And if you're curious, like what these people are telling you or what they're telling you to invest in, I can look at it briefly and tell you if it's a ripoff or not. But generally, it's a good deal. I wouldn't put a ton of money into it just in case your kid doesn't go to college. And you need to understand a lot of the risks that are involved. But overall, it's not a bad deal. It's just a tax advantage account. You pay less taxes, so you have more money. And you get to use it for your kids', educational expenses. That's pretty much what a 529 plan is. So I recommend it, but it's your choice. Any more questions? Any more questions? Going once? Going twice? Yes? Well, it's almost 11 o'clock. I think I'm going to have some lunch. All right, guys. Well, if you have any questions, just email me. I'll answer anything. I'll keep you anonymous. All right, I'm trying to grow my channel. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends about me, okay? I know more than like 99% of these idiotic YouTubers because I spent my whole life studying, all right? And I've built a lot of wealth by simple tactics and techniques that don't require a lot of thought. I know what I'm doing, all right? And I'm a CPA. I'm a big deal, all right? So thank you for tuning in. If I get any more questions today, I might make more videos. But for now, I think I'm out of questions. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'll see you guys later. Oh, and tell Aaron Clary to invite me on his channel. Just email him. Don't tell him I sent you. But just tell him I'm freaking amazing. And that you need to get this guy, Aaron. You need to interview this guy on your channel. All right? So you guys have a wonderful day.